Now, I need you to hear me out. Today has been a weird day. And I know it's the international breaks. You get a lot of crazy stuff online. But the hypocrisy, the double standards, the duplicity, it's hilarious. Genuinely, I've enjoyed myself on social media today. We're talking Red Cartel, we're talking Big Six, we're talking so many little things. I'm really, really intrigued to get into each and every single part of it as well. We're looking at Cole Palmer and some craziness surrounding him. But I wanted to start with the Ballon d'Or nominations. I saw Fabrizio tweet loads of stuff yesterday, and I saw the manager nominations. And I looked at the managers on here, and you can understand why the Argentina manager's there. You can understand why the Spain manager is there, and Alonso, and every manager on there, you go, I get those six. They were the winners last year. They all won something and did something significant in the game. I get why they're there. But what made me laugh is the amount of Arsenal fans, the amount of rivals who said, wait, I thought there was nobody else better than Mikel. Arteta sexuals have been telling us that only Pep is better. We were told that winning trophies doesn't matter, so it doesn't matter that he isn't on this list. Trust the process. And there's elements of that I understand and I agree with. But again, people have said that there's no one better in the Premier League than Arteta other than Pep. These managers are not in the Premier League. However, what I find so staggering, so beautiful, so interesting about this take is at the same very time, there's still a lot of haters and people out there that don't rate Saka. There's loads that question Declan Rice. And if we look at Arsenal fans internally that hate Arteta, typically they don't like Odegaard either. But they were nominated. So what is it? Is Mikel Arteta not a top manager because he wasn't nominated for the Ballon d'Or? And in that same breath, with that same logic, it means you have to admit you were wrong. And Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka and Odegaard are top quality players because they've been nominated. How does this work? Please tell me. I saw so much of it online today, and I've got to speak to the terrorist community about it. I've said it before. Some of the Arsenal hatred out there is an illness. The lack of logic, the lack of consistency is crazy. Now, fair enough, most of the people that are posting this, they're not using their real name, they're not using their face. Most of the tweets that I saw are from people that, like whoever that guy was, no name, funny. I haven't even put his @ in there because I'm not trying to cause a pile on any individual. But I want to ask you, the football terrorist community, and I know a lot of you don't like Arsenal, but if Mikel Arteta is being bantered for not being nominated, does that therefore mean all the praise for Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, Palmer, anyone who has been nominated as a player has to now be treated as one of the best in the world, has to be treated as world class? I would love your views and your opinions on this. Now, it wasn't just Arsenal that were getting stick. I saw this gentleman here, Ronan Murphy, who stated, might as well have, I can't pronounce that name, Hayden Himes, Tim Kleindelst. I can't pronounce it. I don't know who he is. I haven't even bothered looking. They said you might as well have also nominated him for the Ballon d'Or shortlist, just as Cole Palmer, because he scored as many non-penalty goals to help their club reach the Europa Conference League. He said it was more impressive because he's in a far poorer team. Listen, first of all, let me just address this. Cole Palmer last season was astounding. Not just for his goals and penalties and his assists. His overarching play was out of this world. And if 4 or 5 other players in Chelsea's team had delivered like him in their respective positions, they would have been in the Champions League, in my opinion, based on his standards. Even at the Euros, he should have been played more, but when he did come on, he made a massive impact for England. I understand why he's on the shortlist. He's also doing it in the hardest league in the world, Ronan Murphy. So that's Cole Palmer. Secondly, since when are we separating? Well, I know since when. Bruno Fernandes is when. Penalty goals versus non-penalty goals. That, for me, is an abomination to football. Being a good penalty taker, a consistent penalty taker who converts every penalty he takes, is a positive. But yet we're trying to turn it into a negative. We do it with corners. Oh, I want to take away KDB's and Rice's, some of their assists. Why? They got them from corners and free kicks. So being good at crossing the ball from set pieces is now a bad thing? It's absolute madness to me. And I know it's the international break, and I don't know if they're struggling. I don't even know if Ronan Murphy's a journalist. I think he's a journalist. I just don't get it. This is something football fans have got to stop. This non-penalty goals nonsense is crazy. And acting like Cole Palmer last year was not out of this world is an absolute madness, a craziness for me. And again, I honestly feel like this stuff's bordering on illness. It's bordering upon illness that we are suddenly going through multiple... I'm actually going to Google it, right? Let's just Google it now, right? Football attributes. I want to know, right? Attributes. Football attributes list. What comes up, right? Let's have a little look here. Player attributes. Dribbling, long shots, passing, free kicks. Free kicks is an attribute. Composure, heading, ball control, positioning, strength, pace, reflexes, marking, jumping, acceleration, aggression, crossing, finishing, heading, agility, balance, aerial reach, penalty conversion, and command of area. That's more of a goalkeeping situation. Aerial reach is probably also a goalkeeping one. And you look at this, and we would all agree with those forever. Why in the last 2 years, I'm going to keep crossing, but only if it isn't from a set piece. I like that he's a good crosser, but not if he's doing it with free kicks as well. We're going to discount them. I love that he's a good finisher, but not if it's a penalty. If it's a penalty, I don't like it. Yet, we love dribbling from players that at the end of it, there isn't even any end product. Honest to God, this stuff is crazy. And I know the football terrorist community, you get it, you understand it, you see it. But this stuff is a madness to me. It truly, truly is. And to brighten up my day further, to give me an even deeper chuckling right down in my stomach, was this here from Edward Tucker, who I believe is a Leicester City fan. We obviously saw Leicester win their appeal against the Premier League, and they won't suffer any kind of points deduction. I haven't personally read into the details of it yet. That isn't quite what this is about. But it says here that PSR rules favour the Big Six, or the top six, whichever you call them. Partly brought in to stop another Leicester City miracle story happening. But little old Leicester get revenge and pull the Premier League's pants down. A victory for the rest of football. By the end of this bias and end of PSR in its current form. End this bias. Now, what I love about it is, again, I disagree with everybody that says PSR has been brought in to like do what this gentleman has said. Equally, PSR hasn't made loads of clubs sell their academy players this year. It's made poorly run clubs who have made poor financial decisions sell those players because of the way they do a creative accounting. Don't blame the system, blame the players in this regard, as in the clubs. Now, what I find really interesting is when it comes to Man City in this circumstance, it's the Red Cartel. It's the Red Cartel. They're out to get us. When it comes to the smaller clubs, they think City are part of that same Big Six cartel. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It just do you know what's really funny? Do you know Brighton? Brighton are not in the top six cartel, the Big Six cartel, the Red Cartel. They're blue and white. They don't moan about this because they're very well run. They've got their ducks in a row, their house in order. And as I've said already, I've seen people say, I saw Gary Neville, who's disgraced Man United before because of PSR to sell Scott McTominay. We sold Scott McTominay because he ain't good enough. It has nothing to do with PSR, pure profit. The pure profit element is only happened because the clubs have worked out a way of buying and selling players, amortizing them, and how to structure them in the trading accounts to ensure they best comply with PSR. But if they were successful, if their big money signings delivered results, put them further up the league, won them trophies, or at the very least made them more entertaining and brought more eyes to their games, which meant the endorsements were bigger, they wouldn't be facing the PSR problems. PSR has been brought in, and I'm not saying it can't do with reform, but the one thing that we shouldn't be doing is encouraging clubs to lose more money, because that will be the road to ruin. But I just thought it was brilliant how City fans think there's a red cartel. The slightly smaller clubs think that there is a sort of Man United, Chelsea, sort of traditional top four cartel. And the smaller clubs all think there's a Big Six cartel. The only clubs that don't say this are the ones that are not in trouble. Make of that what you will, my people. Hit the like button and make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. We want to appreciate everybody, all of our existing subscribers, all of our new subscribers recently as well. You're absolutely amazing. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace.